What's going on? It's Romeo, guys. We made it to Taco Tuesday. We got into a lot this morning. We talked a little bit about real estate in Bakersfield, and my neighbor was getting hit on at a bar the other night, and I guess the girl was dating a guy, but, well, he didn't want to go with her, so I don't know if she left him or not, but we'll talk a little bit about that. And then, of course, are you guys afraid of AI? AI is supposed to take over the whole world. Let's talk about it.
Oh, we got George Lopez with us this morning. He is a legend in comedy and television and movies. He's going to be at the Fox Theater Saturday, May 16th. Good morning, George.
Good morning. It's always when I see people, man, they always go, "Hey, George Lopez." It's never just George. I think from the show, the first show, hey, get out of the way, George Lopez.
Well, it's funny. I know you won't remember because you've met thousands, millions of people. We met in Sacramento a long time ago when I first got into radio at KSFM. And it's been a long time, and your career is it's incredible how much you've done.
You, man. Even in the beginning, man, there was no kind of template for us,
Yeah.
So as you kept going, you would be like, oh, you could do that. Like, I didn't ever think about having one show, much less like five, man. I mean, it was every day I trip out on it, man, because it's like I never imagined it would go like this.
I was gonna. And what are you most proud of, George? I mean, you've done it all. You did a TV show with your latest one was with your daughter, I believe, if I remember correctly. Then you had the one before that, which was oh my God, that one was so funny. It was what was the one before that?
The one on TV Land?
Yeah.
It was more like a Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes,
type.
that one was great. Oh my gosh, that one was so good. So what are you most proud of? I mean, you've been doing stand-up forever. You're a legend. I don't want to pigeonhole you, but as a Mexican comedian, you are one of the greatest. If not, I wouldn't even know who's accomplished more than you.
Oh, thank you, man. You know what? I think there's two answers. I think doing the show with Mayan was pretty much beyond my imagination, and it's funny, man, being, working with your daughter, that when I would see her every day, my mind would see her being born and see her at 2
Wow.
and see her at 5 and then see her as this woman. So I would say, because it's hard enough to get a show on your own, much less bring your kid with you. Everybody takes their kids everywhere, but I mean, and then I think personally on the other side of it, I think the start on the Walk of Fame in 2006 was pretty big.
Oh, that's so impressive. I mean, the thing, George, is I saw you when you were first starting in the comedy clubs, and now all these years later, it's incredible to be there in the beginning and see it all. See
man.
someone.
Back then, Sacramento was awesome, man. It was just, those things too, like all the radio relationships you made, and all the clubs and stuff. It's like, if you're fortunate enough to have people come and see you, it's easy to get better, man. But sometimes when I think about things, and I'll tell somebody, man, I don't know if I would have had the heart for it if I hadn't have become successful. Like how much do you take before you say, I think I'd wrap this up?
Well, how did you do it though, George? With this idea, these comedians coming out today, they go put a little clip on YouTube and then they're Instagram or TikTok, and all of a sudden they get a show. You were fighting for a space that just wasn't there when you started.
Yeah. It's definitely way different. One time I was doing The View, and they had some influencers go before me, and they're gonna go before you. There's maybe 3 of them, and I said, then you'll be the second guest. I said, yeah, all right. But then as they were on, they had nothing to really contribute other than whatever video they showed.
Yeah.
So they kind of ran out of steam there. And then when I went out there, it's all prepared and everything, and they were like, man, that's eye-opening, that You put 3 of them out there, and all they're about is what they video.
Yeah. All right, so hold on, George, a second. We got more with George Lopez. He's going to be at the Fox Theater May 16th. And get your tickets now. That's a Saturday. So George Lopez is here. He's going to be at the Fox Theater Saturday, May 16th. And you were fighting when there were only a couple of top comedians back in the 80s and 90s when there wasn't room for everybody. Nobody got a TV show like you did.
Yeah.
It's just,
the craziest thing is, I saw a picture of Led Zeppelin, walking, down this hallway backstage, and I said, it looks a little bit now because it's been so long, man, like 50 years. Like those dudes walk the earth. Like somebody said, it used to be dinosaurs, and they fly around. and then you see these guys, and you're like, man, like I was alive. I knew Richard Pryor. I saw Rodney Dangerfield. I saw all these old dudes that aren't around anymore. But when I was growing up, like those were the guys that everybody tried to be. The guys that we trying to look at.
But now you're one of those guys. If you put it into context, moving forward, you're now one of those guys, one of those iconic comedians now that are still around. And
I think, Romeo, in all the things that I've done, I think, in movies, Robert Rodriguez, I did movies with Shark Boy with him, and every time I messed up, he'd go, come over here, let me show you. So he'd show me in the monitor where I messed up, and he'd be like, all right, don't do that. And I'd be like, oh, dude, it's like a dog, man. They bring you to the cat guy. Hey, don't ever do this again. And I was like, man, I got to go over there. He goes, come on, I just want to show you real quick. And you're like, oh, my God. Like, so I think stand-up is the freest form of I think. That's why I think it's elevated comedians, and there's a lot of, there's a Netflix festival where comedians do the Hollywood Bowl now. I did, me and Santana did the Hollywood Bowl in 2009, which does not even sound like it's almost 20 years ago.
Oh, wow. What do you think about comedy today now? What do you think about it after all these years of being in it and being, a pioneer to an extent of some of it? What do you think about comedy today?
Romeo, I wish one thing. I wish the times were different. I wish there wasn't so much like division and so much like people hating on each other, man, and all the things that people get bullied on the internet, and they're not prepared for it. But I just think I just wish the times were different. Like we were living in a happier time. I mean, you do it all these years, and then when you want to kind of wrap it up, it's crazier than it was at any other time in your career. It's almost like you're almost forced to go out there.
Oh yeah. You're back on tour? Are you back on tour now, George?
Yeah.
And what's next for you? You still looking at more shows? You still looking at more movies, or what?
I don't know, man. I think, I did a podcast, just like a smaller one. So I think we're looking at one legitimately like larger in scale. With an executive producer and everything. Because they become almost they're shows now. They're not even podcasts anymore. I mean, they're larger than shows. They tour with podcasts and stuff like that. So I think maybe less road, and maybe if that thing works out, which everybody, I've done so many things, I would say, you get an opportunity that might be a mixture of both of them. Because, I'd like to be home a little bit more. I think Bakersfield and the Fox always been one of my favorite places. But I mean, as you're older, man, you're like, man, go out here.
Yeah, I think the last time you were at the Fox, I actually was walking in, and you were just standing on the sidewalk. You're just standing right out front of the Fox, I don't know, you're just hanging out.
I think I remember that. Yeah, I think I remember that.
What are you doing here?
It's funny because you never think that anybody would recognize you, man. And in the beginning, I went to Chicago. Was really cool to me, so I went over there for this lady, the general manager, because I called all the general managers the summer before my show went on, because I heard that Drew Carey did it, and it helped him. You make a relationship with all the general managers. Yeah. I sat there and called all the general managers. So when I was in Chicago, I look up and there's an Indian family, from India, and this husband and a wife and a son and daughter, and I see them on the moving escalator, and then I'm kind of looking down. It's early Sunday morning, and I see their feet, and I look up, and the husband says, "My son said that you are the man." And I said, I'm one of them. And he's like, no, that you have a television show. I said, yeah. I said, I do. Because he saw it, he likes it. We took a picture with my family, and I was like, wow, man. I mean, that's Like that was that was the beginning of the beginning.
Yeah. You've always been very accessible, though. I think over the years, you've always been very accessible to the fans and been around.
You know what? I think the thing, I think, and you know this because there's a personality for radio. There's things, and the fact that everything I've done has my name. I think people think that when I do something, like that's who I am, but it's not. It's not. It's like it's like an actor. Actor goes, oh man, that guy's mean to his mom. It's like no, it's not. It's not mean.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, George Lopez, I'm so glad you spent time with us this morning. We can't wait to see you May 16th. He's going to be over at the Fox Theater. Make sure you guys get your tickets now. You don't want to miss out. I'd ask what's new, George, but I'm guessing whatever you're going to bring is going to be funny no matter what. So
it's great. It's really great, man. I've been out there working on it. You know what? Actually considering maybe even potentially looking at like a one-man show. So this is a little more personal, but it's still got some bang to it.
That's great. Thanks for spending time with us this morning, George. George Lopez. We'll see you at the Fox Theater on the 16th. That's a Saturday. Thanks, George. Again, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Romeo, appreciate it, dude.
So I got to tell you what happened last night. So one of my neighbors, his wife left him, and I think she left him about a year ago. She left him, just decided she didn't want to be married anymore and wanted to go out and do her whole thing, and so she left him. I give her credit. I mean, she didn't. She didn't want to be married anymore. She wanted to go out and do what she wanted to do. At least she didn't cheat on him. I've always said that if you don't want to be with somebody, you can just walk away. You don't have to cheat on him and do that to him. So he was upset about it. He's been single for a while. Good guy, got a great job. Just out there living life now as a single man. Well, so he calls me yesterday and he says, "Hey, the Lakers are playing." He's big basketball guy. He says, "You want to go out and watch the game with me?" I said, "Yeah." So we rolled down over to Social House and we to watch the Laker game. Now I'm sitting at the bar. We're both sitting at the bar. I'm sitting against the wall at the bar. He's sitting next to me. And then there's a woman there. Now she's got her Kobe jersey on. She's still dressed like professionally. She's got like work slacks on. So we start talking to her. I didn't start talking to her but she starts talking to my guy, my neighbor, and they're talking basketball. They're both basketball fans. They're both Laker fans. They're both, whatever. So finally I get involved in the conversation a little bit, and I'm talking to her, asking her what's up, why she's sitting here all alone. She said after work. Well, she tells me, and she's very good looking. No, very hot chick, right? And I ask her why she's sitting here all alone watching the game. She says, "Well, I've been dating this guy for a couple of months. And I asked him to go to the game. He said it was going to be too late. He had to work in the morning." And the game was kind of late. I think it ended after 10, something like that, because it started late. And I'm like, okay, so dude didn't want to go out with you because it was a school night? I mean, what the hell? And she just laughs about it. Well, so finally, I think the fourth quarter was starting. And my buddy goes to the restroom. And she's like, "Hey, you want to take off?" And I'm like, "Take off?" She's like, "Yeah, I'll get your boy home. Don't worry about it." And I said, "Okay." And I was good with it because I got to be up at 3 a.m. I'm tired, man. And I was going to sit there and stay and watch the game with him, which you guys know what time did it end? 10:30, something like that. So I was ready to go. I was ready to go home. And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely. You got him right." And she's like, "Yeah, but don't say anything when he gets back." So he comes back. I say, "You know what, boy, I'm gonna take off, bro. It's late. I got to, it's about 3. I got to get up at 3." And I go, but she said she'll get you home. So I'll see you later, right? So I roll out. Now I don't know what happened after that. Like I said, I left at whatever time it was when the fourth quarter, a little bit after the fourth quarter started. I don't know what those two did after that. I don't know if obviously he's not going to call me when he gets home. I'm asleep, or if he even made it home, she might be there right now. I have no idea. But let me tell you this. She said she had been dating a guy for a couple of months, right? So she's in the dating scene, okay? My man didn't want to, after 2 months into this, dating this woman, and she was smoking hot. He either doesn't care about her or doesn't care about her. Because if you're dating somebody for 2 months and she wants to go out and watch a game, maybe he doesn't like basketball, I don't know. But she wants to go out, and you might have to stay out a little late on a school night, and you say no, what do you expect to happen? If you don't want to go out of your way, and this is my point when I was thinking about it later on last night, if you're not going to go out of your way for her 2 months in, then you're never going to go out of your way for her. Ever. Because you got to wake up early. I mean, when you start dating somebody, that's when you stay up late having sex, having a good time, because that's when you just don't care because you're trying to get in. So he either didn't care or didn't care. Because like I said, if you're not going to, and I said it again because it's worth repeating, if you're not going to go out of your way for her when you're just started dating her, when it's supposed to be the most exciting and the freshest, you're never going to go out of the way from her. So my boy, my neighbor might have took somebody's girl last night. And I don't know, I mean, dating is not really taking somebody's girl, but who does that? All right, 842-547-7. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened with him last night, but she asked me to leave and I bounced. So last night, my neighbor, his wife left him. So he calls me. Oh, his wife left him about a year ago. It's been a while, not anytime soon. But he asked me to go watch a Laker game with him. So I went out to the bar with him, restaurant, and I was watching the game. And some girl was there with her Laker jersey on by herself watching the game. Well, we started talking to her. She's kind of talking to him a little bit, and then I started talking to her to find out what the situation is because he's single. I didn't know if she was single or not. She said she's been dating a dude for a couple of months, and he didn't want to go out. He didn't want to go out with her. He's too late. Said he had to get up for work the next morning. Now, mind you, I get up at 3 a.m., right? And my boy, who's single guy, neighbor, who is, asked me to go out. Of course I'm going to go out with him, man. The guy, I don't know if he's lonely or not. So I thought it was funny because she asked me to leave. She asked if I would take off because she wanted to hang out with him, which I'm okay with. I have no problem with that. So he goes to the bathroom. She's like, hey, why don't you take off? I'll take care of your friend. And I said, okay. And they're all adults. It's not, he's got to take care of nobody. So he comes back. I'm like, I'm out, bro. You can hang out with her. They're both Laker fans, basketball fans, so it wasn't a big deal, right? It's not like I left him in the alley, or at the fire department. I just left him with some hot chick at a bar watching a game he likes. So, and she had her Kobe Bryant jersey on, and he had his whatever jersey on. And so I rolled out. I don't know what happened, but I thought it was funny that some dude who she said she's been dating for a couple of months, didn't want to go out because he had to be at work the next day. Well, come on now. If he's not willing to do something for you, if he's not willing to go to work late for you when you first start dating, that's supposed to be the best time, the happiest time when you care the most. That's not the guy. He's not the one for you. Because if he's not willing to stay out till at 10:30? I mean, come on, I get up at 3 and I got home at 10. So give me a break. But if he's not willing to do that when you're supposed to be in this honeymoon stage of a relationship, yeah, he's never going to do it for you. So he ain't the guy. I think she knows that now. Well, I don't know what happened with him, with my neighbor and her, but I'll find out today. RD4254-7 Rome. It's not that he doesn't care about her. The world just doesn't revolve around her. And obviously he knows how easy she is, which is why he doesn't jump every time she says jump. Well, I don't know if she's easy or not, but when she said they've been dating a couple of months. If that's supposed to be the time when it is the best part, you're getting to know each other, you're staying out, you're having a lot of sex, you're doing, so I don't know that you're right. I mean, if he's not willing to jump through some hoops in the beginning of a relationship while you're dating. You know, when things are new and supposedly the funnest and supposedly the best and all of these things, because he's got to work the next day, and you're telling me she's the problem? And I'm going to tell you right now, she was pretty damn hot. She might have been worth jumping. She might have been worth jumping when she said, I don't know. I'll ask my boy today when I see him, or my neighbor today when I see him. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind of idiot you got to be. I mean, I'm assuming that he's not going to be around long, because what kind of idiot do you got to be? Oh, I can't go out tonight. Oh, wait, I can't go watch the game with you that you like and have drinks and eat because I got to be in bed early. To what? Be up by 7? 6? Oh, my God. These dudes today, man, you're just clowns. Last night, the Lakers were playing, and a buddy of mine, well, he's a buddy. He's also my neighbor. And his wife left him about a year ago. So, he hasn't been dating much. He's been trying to, get his life back together from a relationship standpoint after she just upped and left. And he asked me to go to the game. Let's go watch the game. Not to the game, but over to the restaurant to watch the game last night. I said, yeah, I'll go with you, Poor guy, I don't know. He's probably got other friends. But he asked me, so I said I'd go with him. And we're sitting there. Well, this is the crazy part. So I'm sitting at the end of the bar next to the wall. He's sitting there. And then another girl, a woman, is sitting watching the game. And she's got her Kobe jersey on. He's got his, I think he had I don't know what jersey he had on. Who knows? Luka or LeBron. I don't know what he had on. Right? So they're kind of talking about the game. Now, I wasn't really involved in the conversation, but they're talking about the game. And finally, I got involved in the conversation and just was like, hey, I was asking her if she was single, blah, blah, blah. All the questions that he didn't really want to ask her. And she said she'd been dating a guy for a couple of months, but he didn't want to come out with her. It was too early. It was too late for him to be out. And I was thinking to myself, okay, what kind of punk are you dating? I mean, she was very attractive, and she was hanging out, watching the game, having a good time. I mean, who's turning that girl down? Because you got to go to work the next day. And apparently he did. And so she did. It was kind of funny because she asked me to leave. She goes, would you mind cutting out so I can hang out with your guy? And I was like, absolutely. I didn't care. I got to be up at 3 a.m. and it's almost 10. I'm good. I'll see you tomorrow. And I left. And I don't know what happened between them, but I'll find out today. Hey, Rome, what'd you send me here? 842-547-7. Romeo, maybe the guy she was dating already decided she wasn't worth keeping. Doesn't matter how beautiful she is. Maybe that was his way of showing her because maybe you're right. But the bottom line is this. If you're in a new relationship with somebody, dating them, and your guy does not want to go out of her way or out of his way for you, and he's going out of his way, meaning let's go to the bar or the restaurant and have some drinks and watch the game and have a good time, and I'll just won't get as much sleep for work. That's what I mean by going out of his way. If he wasn't going to do you at the moment, this moment, then he's not the one. That means he'll never do anything for you. All right? If your guy is not going to put his best foot forward while you're dating in the so-called honeymoon phase of your relationship, he is not the one. Because that means when you settle down, if you get married, he's literally not going to do anything for you. He's never going to go out of his way for you. All right, 842-547-7. Last night, actually, I'm a little tired. Last night, one of my neighbors, his wife left him a while back. He hasn't really gotten to a new relationship. He's still just, I guess, I don't know, getting over it, whatever. He asked me to go watch the Laker game with him. So I go out, go over to Social House to check out the game with him. And we're sitting there, and there's a girl sitting next to him, woman sitting next to him with a jersey on. She's into the game. They start, chatting it up a little bit, talking about the game and the Lakers. They're both Laker fans. So finally I asked some questions, if she's single, blah, blah, blah. She says, yeah, I've been dating this guy for a couple of months. He didn't want to come tonight because it was too late for him to be out. He has to work in the morning. I thought that's ridiculous considering I get up at 3 a.m. every morning and I'm sitting at that bar watching the game with my buddy, right? So what's his problem? You got a hot chick you're dating and you're not going to go out of your way at this point in the relationship. And this is what I was thinking. If you're not going out of your way, if he's not going out of his way for you at this point in the relationship, he never will. Now, maybe he didn't want you. Maybe he's got other girls on the side. There could be a lot of options. But if she's chatting up my boy, and then she actually asked me if I wouldn't mind leaving. She was very nice about it. Would you mind? She said, would you mind taking off? He went to use the restroom. She goes, hey, would you mind taking off so I can hang out with your guy, just one-on-one? I said, yeah, absolutely. I'm out. So he comes back in the restroom. I bounce. I'm tired anyways. That's why I'm tired right now because I didn't get home till late. But, man, what is wrong with these dudes? Already 4254-7-7 Rome. Whoever said that a minute ago about she's easy is an idiot. When me and my wife started dating, she could call at 10 or 11 at night. I'm jumping to get over to her house, and I had to be at work at 5, 6 in the morning. And I'm pretty sure that was a woman who's in I'm pretty sure that was a woman who's in an unhealthy relationship or not in a relationship. Oh, well, she wasn't in a relationship. I asked her what her status was because my guy's single, Like I said, his wife left him. He's got to move on. And she said she's just, dating a guy. I asked all the questions for my guy. I'm a good wingman. I asked her, she's like, yeah, she's been dating this guy a couple of months, seeing this guy for a couple of months, but he didn't want to go out last night because it was too early. He had to get up too early for work. So he might have got. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I haven't. Well, I guess I can text my neighbor here in a few minutes and find out what happened at the end of the night with them. But so I don't know how it all ended up. But you might be right about unhealthy relationship. Like you said, if your wife called you when you were dating her at 10, 11 o'clock at night, you went. You got up. That's what I'm saying. You're willing to do that. If a guy you're dating is not willing to do that in the beginning of the relationship, he's never going to do it. He's the wrong guy. When you're dating a guy and things are happy-go-lucky and everybody's excited about the newness and the freshness and what's going on, if that fool don't jump every time you ask him to, he is not the one, because that means he'll never do it. I'm just saying, go through some of your text messages right now. already 4254-7-7. Hey, Rome, there is a chance the other guy has hit it in a bunch of times and doesn't care at this, regardless if she's hot or not. You might be right about that. I'm not going to disagree with you. I have no idea what this dude's issue was. I'm just saying is, if a guy you're dating is not going to jump through hoops for you when you ask him to, then he never is going to. And it works both ways. I mean, how many of you women have jumped through hoops for a dude because you're dating him? It's new, it's fresh. You don't know what's going to happen, the anticipation of what it could be, and all those things. So you do things like go out late, get up early for work, and go to work tired because you were because it's a new relationship. Now, if you're going to be men and women who are selfish in a new relationship, that's a complete red flag. And it's not like she was asking this dude to go out, to go to a funeral at 11 o'clock at night. She was asking him to go out and watch the game and hang out, have a good time. So, yeah. I get you, though. You could be right about that. I'm not going to argue that. Hey, Rome, I'm a single guy. Message me which restaurant or bar. I was at Social House. I don't have to message you. And I'll be there tonight and get up early for work. I'll sacrifice some sleep for some one-on-one female time. Well, there you go. Hey, Rome, some people actually work hard, Romeo, and don't want to drink at a bar on a Monday when he has to work in the morning. All you do is wake up at 3 and say dumb stuff on the radio or talk about Raiders. Yeah, you're right. And you're still listening. That's why I always win. Already 42547-7. Nobody said you had to get drunk. I didn't get drunk last night. I just went because my neighbor wanted somebody to go hang out with him. You know? But yeah, not everybody can be me. Not everybody can be a man like me. Alrighty, 42547-7. You're right, Rome. I used to lose sleep just to be with my girl. You got to make those sacrifices. Exactly. You make those sacrifices. But the point being, if you're not going to make those sacrifices in the beginning of the relationship, then he or she's never going to make those sacrifices. So are they really worth it? All right. 842-547-7. Hey, good morning, Romeo. It's Gilrod here. Who is better looking, the woman that your neighbor met last night or his ex-wife? Who was better looking? Does it matter? The ex-wife left him. So, I mean, it's kind of a weird question to ask, Gilrod. I don't know. I mean, he's a pretty good-looking guy, so he doesn't, a lot of good-looking women look at him, so I don't know. I don't know. Strange question, though. All right, let's talk a little bit about the housing market. I do not know what's going to happen. Gas prices are up. The economy is, I don't even know what it's doing, but people are buying houses. I see them for sale, and I know you guys got to live somewhere, so that's why we bring Marco in from Selling Bakersfield. Good morning, Marco.
Good morning, Romeo.
Let's see here. I know houses are selling because I've seen them sold.
They are.
So what's going on? Let's start off with that. Before we tell people how they can buy a house, especially for those of you that have never done it before, let's talk about what the market looks like in Bakersfield. Still cheaper than the rest of California, right?
Still cheaper than the rest of California. Houses are selling. I listed a $1.2 million property, and we've got an offer on it. So, I mean, if a house in that price range is selling, that tells you houses are selling.
In Bakersfield?
In Bakersfield.
In Bakersfield?
Yep.
How's the inventory?
Well, the inventory is actually, there's more inventory now available for buyers. And so the inventory is not a problem. It's really buyer speculation. You know, they think, oh my goodness, gas prices, what's the interest rates going to do, Iran, all this stuff. And it's like, look, guys, we've been coming on this show talking about real estate for years.
Hold on, before you get any further than that, you're talking about buyer speculation based on what people are hearing throughout the industry? Is that what you mean by that? Or just a bunch of dummies at the bar going, this is what's going to happen?
Well, no, I mean, legitimate concerns like the gas prices. I mean, gas prices are what, $7-8? Things like that. And they don't know if the war is going to affect the interest rates, and they're still hoping for the 3s and the 4s. And I'm like, man, let's just get over that. You're never going to see 3s and 4s again. This is the new norm. This is what the interest rate is. Can you afford to buy a house or not? That's the bottom line.
Okay,
if you can, then buy a house.
Yeah. I want to say two things. One is I just saw a story yesterday that said they anticipate 300 markets. Housing's going to plummet. I don't know. The housing price is going to plummet like they did in 2008.
That may be true. I don't think that's not in Bakersfield.
I don't think Bakersfield was on that list.
I mean, that's the thing. We're talking to people not just in California, but in Bakersfield, right? Mm-hmm. So our audience is Bakersfield. So
that's what we care about. Are we in Bakersfield? Are we going to be able to afford a house?
Correct. And I think that the prices in Bakersfield, even though they have gone up because everything has to go up, right? They're still very much affordable in comparison to other places.
So let me ask you this question, and somebody asked a good point right here. They were talking about whatever this new virus is, and I don't know what it is, but whatever they're talking about, there's always something trying to scare the world, right? Of course. Does that affect housing markets? Did COVID affect housing markets? I don't think it did it?
It did. The immediate reaction was it was like a freeze. Everybody stopped, right?
Okay.
I remember I had a listing. It was my buddy's listing. And we were kind of worried, right? Because he was in a transition. I was representing him. He was buying a house and then he was selling his house and everything just froze, right?
Yeah.
Well, that only took about 2 or 3 months. After that, it was like a boom. It affected it in a good way. Prices went up.
Okay.
If you remember, right after COVID, man, prices started.
I don't remember any of that time. It's all a blur to me.
Yeah.
But in the way that, how does the housing market work as compared? Like, you can see a direct correlation between Iran and gas prices, right? People say,
Right.
the oil this, the oil that, even though they're still just ripping us off. By the way, those gas companies don't need to rip us off like that. That oil was already paid for that they're selling us right now. So don't believe that that's what's going on. These
Plus, we
clowns
got all of Venezuela's oil.
yeah, these clowns are just taking advantage of us, okay?
Yeah.
Does the housing market do that in a sense where they find something in some, disaster going on in the world to try to jack up prices or
to
lower
manipulate prices, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the world does affect the housing market.
Yeah, and if you look at the big players, like BlackRock and all these people that are buying real estate, you're wondering, why are they buying real estate?
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The people that we've never heard of.
Okay.
Right?
We've never heard of. You're right. People we've never heard of. You're absolutely right. You don't know who BlackRock is, you got to go to the deep web for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Why are they buying houses? You got to ask yourself.
It's like the people who say what the climate control, the oceans are rising, but yet all these people are buying beachfront property. You're like, well, you just told me we're going to be flooded, but these cats are buying beachfront property. Maybe we're getting bad info.
That is
all right. Hold on. We're going to talk a little bit with Marco, selling Bakersfield, about the housing market. I want to talk about just the basics of buying a house as well, or selling one for those of you that have not done that in the past. All right. So we got Marco here from Selling Bakersfield. Marco, what's your phone number? Real quick.
661-444-0178.
The reason I say that is because for those of you out there, buying a house, I've always said this, is the scariest, biggest purchase you're ever going to make, but it's absolutely the most exciting thing you're ever going to do when you walk into your own home that you just purchased and you're going to start your life. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
So where do we begin, Marco? For those of us that have never bought a house before, we don't know where to start. We don't know who to call. We're a little nervous about it. What do we do?
You pray. You ask God for direction.
Ask God for direction.
You want to talk to a realtor. You want to talk to a realtor. I'll tell you why. Because a realtor, for example, and you can call anybody. You don't have to call me, but I've been doing this for 22 years in Bakersfield. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine how many houses I've seen? How many houses I've actually walked through? Yeah. So it's like I've been buying a house for 23 years. That's how much experience I bring to the table. Can you imagine how many lenders I have verified, how many lenders I have gone through until I finally found the lenders that I work with because they're the best at what they do?
What I do want to point this out, though, before you move on. That is, there are two things that can, one thing that can really not get you your house, and that is if the lender and the real estate agent don't get along. And they can really screw up your program, and they won't care about it. I'm going to tell you right now, lenders who don't get along with realtors do not care about you or vice versa. So you got to get a lender and a real estate agent that get along. Both want the same goal, and that's you and your house. Okay. Now they're both going to make money out of it because that's your job. But if you get one lender who didn't get along with the realtor in high school, and then all of a sudden they're trying to work together, and you're stuck in the middle of that mess, your house will fall through.
That's happened before.
Exactly.
It becomes a battle of the pride and you know what? Anyway, you're right. You're right 100%. It's a team. It's a collaborative effort. There's actually more components to that, but those are the two main. The realtor and the lender. Then there's escrow. Then there's title.
Yeah.
You got all these people working for one goal, and that is to close this transaction so that the buyer can step into their home, so that the seller can, sell their home. And so there's a lot of moving parts. So if you've got this team of people that are working together, that have been working together for many years and have done hundreds of transactions together, it's going to go smooth.
And that's what you really want. I remember when I got my first house, I used a lender out of town, and so they were doing emailing each other, the realtor and they didn't not like each other. It's just even that little bit of communication gap through emails can cause problems. And I almost lost my home and there was no negative ill will or anything like that. It was just, you have to have people that are always in constant contact because things can change, daily when it comes to that.
And you shouldn't have to be like the mediator between the realtor and the lender. Yeah. Things shouldn't have to go through you. You should be like doing the least possible, and they should be working for you.
So what would you suggest? We call the realtor or the lender first, because we do want to know how much we can afford. We do want to know what we can get. What would you suggest, just in your opinion?
Well, if somebody called me, the first thing I do is I do a buyer consultation. Mm-hmm. So I kind of talk to them about their needs. I get to know them a little bit. Well, do you have kids? No kids? Do you have to be in a certain area? School zones are important for parents. You know that. Mm-hmm. And so we talk about those things. That's why I think you talk to a realtor, and then based on that conversation, we're going to put them in touch with our preferred lender.
Sure.
But at the same time, we're going to put them on a what's called a house campaign, where we're going to start emailing houses
listings.
that match, listings that match their criteria.
Oh yeah,
so it's kind of exciting. We make it exciting. Even before you get qualified, you're starting to get houses and looking at the listings, and so then the lender gets in touch with you, and it's a process that we try to make it an experience, a good experience.
How long does the process take? Let's say everything's in line. I got the credit. I got whatever money I need down. How long does that process take of buying a home?
If everybody's working together smoothly, you should be in your home from the moment you call that realtor to the moment you actually get your keys in your hands. No more than 90 days.
90 days? Okay. Yeah. I mean, it is a process. You have to understand this. When you're buying a home, it's not like it's the biggest purchase you're going to make. And it's not like, well, these guys always want to move. But it's not like you're really just going to resell in 90 days or next year. You're going to let's go buy a new home. No. It doesn't work like that. So you really want to make sure you're getting into the right property and you're getting help with that. Because there are things, and we'll talk about this in a minute, but there are things that you don't even know to ask when it comes to buying a home, just if you've never bought one before. Marco, what's your selling Bakersfield? What's the number?
661-444-0178.
All right, so we're talking about the housing market in Bakersfield. Selling Bakersfield. Marco is here. 444 something.
0178.
All right, Marco. I want to help some people out when it comes to buying houses real quick. Some of the things that we walk into a house. It looks beautiful. This is the house of our dreams. Until we lived there for about 6 months, and then we realized it doesn't have this, it didn't have that. This could have been, we want to change this, we want to change that. When you go into a house, what are things people should look for? I know you point stuff out to people that they would never notice. An outlet should be there that's not there, that you're going to use every day if it was there, things like that, or just little things, things in the corner, what's in the attic, stuff like that.
My main concerns are always the main components of a house that would be really expensive for you to have to do yourself. So, for example, a roof. For me, a roof is important. Is it a new roof? Is it an old roof? Is it going to need a roof in a couple of months?
Yeah.
The HVAC system. If that's, I'm not really too worried about the HVAC because we always do a warranty, right? So,
sure.
If you have a warranty, I've actually had a client that the HVAC went out and the warranty actually replaced the unit. It was like $8,500.
Oh, wow.
But, you still want to make sure you look at that. Also, electrical, right? The older homes, when you get into like the 70s and older, they have very old electrical. And that could be a problem because you might need to rewire the whole house.
What about plumbing and stuff like that?
Yep.
The piping.
I was about to say that next. Piping is important. Your water lines. Are they copper? Copper, after like 20 or 30 years, man, they start getting pinholes. I lived in a house that had copper piping, and then leaks start happening in the roof. You're like, what is going on? Well, it's copper piping. So, now everybody's using PEX piping. So, anyway, those are the things that I look for. I'm not really too concerned about the cosmetics because you could do whatever you want to the house afterward. But if you got to go and replumb a house, you're going to spend $15,000.
Yeah.
So, you can add an outlet here or add an outlet there, but to rewire the whole house, that's a big deal.
Sure.
So we look at the major components. And then, there's things that are important to people, like I do not want a pool. Some people do not want pools. They don't want the headache. Other people are like, I have to have a pool.
It's 103 degrees today. Yeah. Damn right we need a pool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in Bakersfield, a lot of people want pools. But you'd be surprised. There's some people that don't have kids.
Yeah, I get it.
They don't want the electric
bill. Headaches. I get it.
A pool comes with a high utility bill. Mm-hmm. People don't realize that.
So what about these new houses? Do you help people buy new houses or just new construction homes or just used homes?
Everything. Everything and anything. A lot. A vacant lot, you want to buy a lot to build, you want to buy a used home, you want to buy a new house, we can represent you.
Okay, so let me ask you this question and be as honest as you can without getting in trouble. You go to these new housing units, these new housing developments, and they have an office. You walk right into the office, you want to buy a house, you walk into the office and they show you the spiel and you can buy it and purchase it right there. I would prefer having my own agent because I bought in a newer home one time and some stuff wasn't done properly, but I didn't have an agent to deal it because you just bought it from the office,
from the builder, basically.
Basically the builder. So I would always say have an agent for you, although it may cost you a little bit more money to have that agent, right? Because they get there. Oh, it doesn't.
No, as a matter of fact. That office has a person sitting in that office representing the builder. So they work for the builder. Mm-hmm. Whose interest do you think they have in their hearts? Whose best interest do you think they have in their heart, right?
Yeah.
They're representing the builder. So there's a lot of incentives when it comes to new construction that they just don't know, right?
Yep.
As realtors, we know we can negotiate for you. We can represent you and say, hey, Mr. Builder, we want X amount of dollars to help our buyer with closing costs.
Sure.
Hey, Mr. Builder, we want you to do this to this house. We want you to modify this. So there's a lot of things that if you have your own realtor and you're not paying for it, we're going to ask the builder to pay the commission for our commission. Yeah.
But you want to have somebody representing you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Representing you.
I mean, think about it. If you go to court and are you going to use the other party's representative or you want to bring your own?
You want to bring your own. All right, Marco's here from Selling Bakersfield, 444
0178.
We're talking about the housing market right now. That's why we bring Marco in. Selling Bakersfield. Good morning, Marco.
Good morning, Romeo.
Let's talk about selling. I want to sell my house because, I don't know, maybe my family's getting smaller. Maybe my family's getting bigger. Maybe we're making a little more money now. We want to move to a better school district. Maybe we want to move to a different area to live closer to parents or family or whatever the case may be.
Sure.
What do? We just call you, right? And you'll sell it for us tomorrow?
We'll sell it for you. I don't know about tomorrow. We can list it for you tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So selling is an interesting process. Because it involves a lot of people's feelings and emotions, right? Sometimes in that house, you saw your kids grow up. You saw you got married. This is your first house, whatever it may be. So we have to handle it with care.
Sure.
Because a lot of people think unfortunately, some people think their house is worth more than what.
Especially if you're the one that put some work into it.
That's right.
Oh, you redid the floors, or you did the whatever. You put your sweat into it. Yeah. It changes how you feel about the house,
which is totally understandable. I've done a lot of work to my house, and I know how hard it was. But
he'd sell that tomorrow if somebody offered it to him.
Yes, I would.
Exactly.
But I understand where they're coming from, right? It's only because I'm in the industry.
Yeah, in the industry. Yes.
But if I wasn't, I understand why. It's like, wait a minute, you tell me unfortunately, you don't get dollar per dollar.
Yeah.
You don't build a $150,000 pool in your backyard and landscape this and that and think you're going to get $150,000 of value.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So the first thing we have to do is a seller consultation. The buyer is a buyer consultation. Seller is a seller consultation. We go, we look at the house, we do what's called a CMA, which is a comparative market analysis. And it's a little report that shows us what's been selling in the area.
Okay.
And there's some criteria we have to follow. Anything within quarter mile, within the last 6 months that has actually sold, not listed, but sold.
What if now, one of the things that I've always heard people say is square foot dollar, a dollar amount per square foot.
Price per square foot.
Okay. Yep. What about when the houses in the neighborhood are a little bit different? What if there's no comparable house to you? What if every house is a single story house in the neighborhood and one house is a 2-story? What about things like that? Or they're not exactly alike. Sure. Is it still just price per square foot?
It always comes down to price per square foot. What happens is the appraiser would have to expand the location territory, right? So if there's nothing really comparable within a quarter mile, maybe go half a mile. Maybe go a mile. Sometimes in rural areas where it's like little ranches, 2.5 acres, 5 acres, 10 acres, you have to go 5 miles.
Gotcha.
So, there's always something out there that is comparable to yours.
So when people are out there, they're looking at, and they'll go, I get the flyers in the mail. Your house is in your neighborhood sold for X amount of dollars per square foot. So the first thing everybody does when they see that is they do the math on their square footage.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's always equal, right? Or does it?
It's a good benchmark.
Okay.
It's a good place to start. Especially if the flyers probably getting to you because it's something around your neighborhood.
Yep.
It's probably not across the, Bakersfield.
Yeah, sure.
So because of it's in your neighborhood, then yes, that's a good benchmark. And then there's adjustments. Does yours have a pool? Does that house have a pool? You adjust for those types of things. But that's a good place to start. Price per square foot. Okay. You could do, hey, this is selling for X amount of square foot. Mine's somewhere around that.
Yeah. Right. But if you have 2 houses next to each other, let's say they're the same.
Yeah.
One's got a pool, one doesn't. One's going to change the value. What if one's nicer? What if one's got a remodel kitchen, the other one has a pool but an old kitchen?
Yeah, it kind of balances out.
Okay.
It kind of balances out. Those are the things that you got a benchmark, right, which is your price per square foot, and then you kind of adjust.
Oh, okay.
Right from there. So I think a remodeled house is just as appealing to buyers as a house with a pool.
Okay. A lot of these people don't remodel their houses in Bakersfield, though. So there's a lot of great houses out there, amazing properties that still got those oak cabinets that they're amazing cabinets, sturdy, last you forever.
Yep.
But they just, that oak with the gloss on them.
Well, don't get rid of them, just paint them. Because they're good quality cabinets, seriously.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Hold on, Marco. Marco's here from Selling Bakersfield. We were talking about the housing market here in Bakersfield with Marco. He's from Selling at Bakersfield.
444-0178
is the phone number. So if you want to call him, you want to get started, you want to find out any information about buying or selling, you can ask him on the phone. It's that simple. To ask the questions and find out what you need to do.
Yep.
I do want to ask you this, Marco. Somebody asked about, can you ask Marco if cash out refinances will change my current interest rate?
Yes, it will.
They will, right?
Yep, because the word says it all. You're refinancing. So you're financing again with a different bank and at the current rates, which could be a good thing if you have a high rate, right? You have a high rate and let's say the interest rates take a little dip, and you can save money on your monthly mortgage, then it's good. But if you've got 3 or 4%, you probably don't want to refinance.
But you can take money out like a credit card on your home, right?
Yeah, the best option for a person who has a good interest rate and they want to cash out is a HELOC, home equity line of credit.
Okay. Now I got to ask you this question since you've been in the game for so long. Back in the day, your home was always the best bet. If you had a home, you had equity in a home, it was always the best insurance policy to take money out when you needed to do something that was important. Today, after 2008, I don't know if the things have changed. I know that was, 20 years ago or, 18 years ago.
Yeah.
But the home used to be the most stable purchase you can buy forever.
Yeah.
Until we saw what happened in 2008 when people went, wait a second, that was real. Is it still the most stable purchase, or was that just a fluke, or what? In your opinion, Marco? Since you've been seeing it for so long.
In my opinion, real estate is the best investment anybody's ever going to make.
Okay.
And I would say don't use it as a like a ATM, right? Don't pull money out to go buy a boat or something like that. If my opinion is this, there's 2 reasons why you should pull money out of your house: either to put it back in the house in the form of remodel or something like that, or to buy another house.
Okay,
those are the best reasons to pull money out of it. Other than that, don't touch your equity. Let it grow.
Okay.
And even if the market takes a little correction, and dips, it's always going to go up.
And that's what that was the next thing I was going to ask you. It is we watch all these shows now that have just become so popular on flipping homes, and I'm going to make $100,000 here, $80,000 there, $500,000 here because of pick your home show of flipping.
Yeah.
That's an exception, right? For the normal person that just wants to buy a home, your equity is going to go up and down throughout the years, but it's a long-term investment, not short-term.
Yeah, those things are real. I've done it. I've flipped homes and made thousands of dollars, but it's not your primary home. Don't ever look at your primary home as a flip.
Okay.
Your primary home is your primary home.
Sure.
And then if you're going to buy a second home to flip, that's when you look at it as a flip, and but even then it's really difficult. Okay. I've been doing this for 20-something years, and it's hard for me to find a good flip.
Okay. All right, Marco, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
What's the phone number again?
444-0178.
All right.
Always a pleasure.
All right. Glad to see you. Well, I have been waiting to talk to you guys about this for a couple of weeks now. I wanted it to cool off a little bit because some of my friends that I grew up with still listen to the show online. So I had to let it cool off a little bit before I tell it. Okay. A good friend of mine, and he is a good friend of mine, his wife got some photos of him messing with another woman. So he was cheating on his wife. The woman he was messing around with, her husband, I guess, caught them together and sent the photos that he took of them together to his wife. Now, she confronted him with this, right? And this idiot, I shouldn't call him an idiot because she believes him, but this idiot told his wife that they were AI photos. He said they were doctored photos. He's not messing around on her. And that the guy who sent them just has beef with him for another reason. I didn't get what the other reason is. But she believed him. Now, this idiot, he got away with it so far. Up to this point, his wife believes that the photos of him with this other woman are AI, artificial intelligence. They're doctored. They're not real. Now, AI is going to change the world in a way that will never, it's going to be tough, right? To understand if something's real or not. We already see it. I mean, in social media posts, we already see it online. They make movies, AI movies now that are tough to understand if they're real or not, right? I don't really pay that close attention to it because it's not, to me, I don't know. To me, I don't care. But can you tell if it's AI or not? Now, I do pay attention to AI when it comes to how it's going to change the world. Is AI going to take over the planet like a Terminator movie and then kill off all the humans? Or is AI going to destroy, human life, which I think is stupid. I don't believe that. But are you guys scared of AI? I mean, I don't even know. The conversation about AI is the one I wanted to have, but I think it's just funny that my friend of mine used AI as an excuse to get away with cheating, and so far it's working for him. What do you guys think about AI? Do you think it's really going to be detrimental to society? I mean, my buddy used it to get out of a cheating scandal with his wife.
Yeah, you're talking about AI?
Yeah, what do you got, bro?
So I was just talking about this with my buddies the other day. I think it's making everybody incredibly lazy, like stupid lazy. An example I have is like at work. A lot of my coworkers, they like to use AI to draft their emails. I understand, like it's mundane, having to do our job gets a little boring.
Yeah.
But what it does is, like, whenever we're in like a big meeting with HR or we're having meeting with our union,
okay,
their critical thinking is just gone.
It's funny that you say that because I was talking to somebody and that's what they were saying. They were saying people are becoming stupider because of AI. The generations are becoming dumber because AI does the work for them. And like you just said, no critical thinking, no problem solving skills. They're losing all that. But that's so, yeah, I agree with you. All right.
Like, these people haven't watched Terminator enough, man. I grew up, Sarah Connor would be shaking her head at us. She'd be embarrassed. You guys need to watch those movies again. Don't touch the machine.
All right, man. Thanks for calling.
Have a good one.
You know, and I will say this. This is what I want to say that along with that is, you know, we talk about computers taking over. And like he just said, the Terminator, right? We watch movies where computers take over the world and humans are fighting for survival. But, and this is going to sound nutty and be a little bit, might be over your head a little bit, but the computers have already taken us over. The iPhones, the cell phones are so much like a drug that people actually lose it if they can't get on their phones or they can't get on social media. The computers have already brainwashed the human race and have taken over. Even though it's not in the same way that you see in the movies, it's not in the same way that you see where the computers are just running everything and they got their own little robot army and the humans are, you know, fighting for survival in a military way like they do in the Sarah Connors or the whatevers. But you're already been taken over. I mean, you guys are already controlled by a robot, by technology with your phones. And if you think you're not, you're stupid, because you are. You're just in denial in the same way that a person who's hooked on drugs or alcohol would say, I'm not a druggie, I'm not an alcoholic, because you are. You're hooked on your phones. And it's the world that we live in right now. So I would argue that the computers have already taken over. The problem is, are they going to wipe you out like in these Terminator movies, right? I don't know. Are you afraid of AI? I don't know if you should be or not. But it is making you dumber. AI is definitely making you dumber. Yeah. But then again, you have to make the other argument for AI. If I can just look something up on how to do it and then do it, why do I need to solve the problem on my own? You know, if I do this, I still do this, right? I have conversations about certain things like, oh, how many Super Bowls did, you know, Tom Brady win? Or whatever, a question like that. I don't go to AI to look at the answer if I don't know it. I try to figure it out. But I'll be sitting next to a friend who would just go right to, I mean, I had that conversation this morning. Now we were talking about something for music. How old? Oh, we were talking about how old Lisa was. I was trying to do the math in my head about last time, you know, blah, blah, blah. The guy next to me just looked it up. Oh, she's this age. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know necessarily what's, I guess I can stand on both sides of the fence. But I don't believe AI is going to take me over. I don't think it's going to take over the world, you know, in the way that you see in Terminator. Let's see here. You sent me something about my buddy. Good morning, Rome. I really hope that lady's not listening to the radio because now she's going to know her husband was cheating. No, she's not listening to my show. Hold on. Let me get this phone call and I'll explain. Good morning, Al. What's going on?
Romeo, the only people that have to fear AI is the smart people, the geeks and the nerds.
Why is that?
Because, I mean, before I got a friend that went to school 4 years for computer tech. He can design stuff, and he's been replaced by AI. Oh. Not only that, all these people that thought they were smart, I can just use AI and be just as smart of them. Raider Dave got the advantage now on them. All these smart guys.
Okay.
I have nothing to fear. It's made me smarter. It's made me more advanced. So,
but you don't
for AI.
But you don't think AI is going to take control of the world and become some crazy thing that runs us, right?
I don't think so. Only because even though it is smart technology, they don't have that gut instinct. They don't know how to,
What about all the jobs? They're worried it's going to take over all the jobs, and nobody's going to be able to.
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's going to take over the smart and the nerds. The nerds are going to be out of business, but us hard workers that still change tires and still work, labor jobs, we're all right.
What about robot AIs? They got robots now to do that stuff.
Yeah, but it's not going to work. It's not going to be the same.
Okay, I'm just asking. I'm not scared of AI either, Dave. I'm not. It doesn't scare me at all.
Because I don't think AI could be as funny as you, or
Oh, not even close. Not even close.
No, there it is there. And it can't be as annoying as Raider Dave, so we're safe.
And it definitely can't be as dumb as Siog Lou, so we are good.
We are safe. Us three are guaranteed future jobs.
All right, get out of here, Raider Dave, later. Anyway, oh my God. So back to what I was, somebody said that he hopes the lady's not listening. What happened was a friend of mine, and he's in Atlanta. He lives in Atlanta with his wife. So he was cheating on his wife, and I believe he was cheating. But anyway, the husband of the woman he was cheating with took photos and sent them to my friend's wife, and he just told his wife it was AI. Those are AI photos. They're not real. Somebody's, hey, this guy doesn't like me. He's trying to get even with me for some reason, and she believed him. So, but AI, a lot of people are afraid of AI, losing their jobs. They're afraid they're going to turn into Terminators and take over the world, and I doubt. And you guys got to stop listening to these idiots who think AI, because we could still just unplug it. Just like a computer. Just, we're back to business, right? All right, so it's Romeo. I was telling you about a buddy of mine. He got, I think he got caught. His wife believes him, though. But he was messing around with some lady. The lady's husband caught him, caught pictures of him, sent it to his wife. My friend's wife. He just told her it was AI, and she believed him. She believed him. It's crazy. Already 4254777. Hey, Rome, you don't think AI is going to take your job? No. AI can have my job. You know what it's like dealing with you fools all the day, all this time? AI could have my job, but no, AI is not taking my job. I mean, come on now. Are you guys worried about AI? And I mean, there's a couple of different ways to look at it. Are you worried about the fact that it's going to take your job? Are you worried about the fact that it's going to take over the world? It's smarter than us. So what? It's still just a machine. Okay, you guys got to stop watching Terminator and all these ridiculous movies that make it seem. If anything, AI is going to do, it's already have done, and that's with your cell phones. Your cell phones control you, and if you don't think they do, you're just in denial. But your cell phones control you. So technology's already winning, you know? The one thing it is doing is it's making people stupider, dumber. And it did say that I saw a story the other day that said women are the ones that are going to be affected the most. The effects of AI on working lives of women. It's women, I guess, that are going to be affected the most when it comes to AI. Women face higher workplace risks when it comes to AI. So it's interesting. Hey, Rome, I've caught AI lying numerous times, which makes me wonder, how many times have I believed something it told me that I didn't know? Well, the thing about AI you have to understand is it depends on who programs it. I know exactly what you're talking about. There are different AIs that will tell you different things because of the beliefs of the human that programmed it. So that's what you think you think AI is going to take over humans? No. You gotta be, you can't be that stupid. It's not going to kill all the human beings. It's not going to take over the human race. It's just going to be there in the same way. It's just going to make you dumber is what it's going to do.
Hey, what's up, Roman Seahawk Lou?
What up, Lou?
Hey, I got to disagree with you on the AI stuff.
Well, that's because you're a moron.
No, it's because I got proof, man. I was in LA a couple weeks ago, and I ordered a ride, and it was one of those cars that drive themselves.
Oh, a Waymo? A Waymo? Yeah.
Yeah, a Waymo.
Okay.
That's AI.
I get it, but it's still the technology. Those things just blocked up a street in Texas for like 15 hours because they all came to the same spot at the same time. They're not perfected nowhere near enough to take over the world, and they probably won't be.
Yeah, nah, probably not the world, but the majority of like big cities, maybe Bakersfield, not Wasco. Definitely not Wasco. Yeah, and then also, hey, I ordered some food on DoorDash, and it was like a little robot came to the door.
I seen that clown. I was in L.A. a couple of weeks ago, and I saw that thing going down the street, and it got stuck. So give me a break, you guys. You know what? All right, Lou. All right,
Ro.
All right. I mean, I think AI is going to do some things, but it's not going to control the world like you guys see in some sort of silly movie, you know? Hey, what up, Rome? All I can say is that my job can't my coworker's job for sure, because AI definitely isn't going to kiss my boss's ass. Oh, yeah. AI will take over some jobs, but it's not going to control the world. There are people that think the end of the world is coming because of AI, and that these robots it's going to become sentient? Is that what it means? It's going to think for itself. It's going to become its own. No, it won't. You know, it's not. It's still just a machine. That's all it is. Now, it may be able to scour the internet faster, but it's not finding anything that a human hasn't already programmed. That's the thing. It's not going to become some sort of its own thing and take over the world like you see in the movies. It's not. What you need to be afraid of more than AI is these cell phones and how all of you cannot get off your freaking phone. I would be more worried about that. 94.1, the Rhythm of the Valley. It's Romeo. Help me, Rome, today. What do you send me here? All right. It says, hello, Rome. Please. Hello. Please, Rome. Please help. The guy I'm seeing for a year told me we need to slow down. What does that mean? Is it over? Is he cheating? What's going on? Well, I don't know. You're not really giving me a whole lot of information, or have you become clingy? And what do you expect? What's been going on? Well, I don't know. I mean, is it you? Is it him? Could be all of those things. I mean, are you pushing for something more after a year? Are you being aggressively, trying to move forward with what? Moving in together, getting married, boyfriend, girl? What are you trying to do? So is it you? I don't know what moving too fast means, So you're going to have to give me a little more information. If I was just going to guess, okay, and this is just because the cynical nature of Bakersfield, it's probably over, and he probably met somebody that he wants to see. He probably met somebody else that he wants to give it a shot. He doesn't really want to be a jackass and cheat on you. He's probably, I'm going to guess that's probably what's going on. Because I don't know, unless you are doing something that he believes is moving too fast for the relationship, and without knowing him and without knowing you, I can only answer the question about he's probably met somebody else and he wants to date them without feeling like he's cheating on you. Okay? I'm just guessing that. Unless you want to give me more information. Where's the relationship at today? You live together, you live separately. Have you been pushing him to do something like move in together, or what's the relationship status today? How's it working? Already 42547-7. It's Romeo. It's Hot 94.1. This whole conversation says, hey, Rome, help me out here. She says, the guy I'm seeing for for a year, told me we need to slow down. What does that mean? Is it over? Is he cheating? What's going on? So here, she actually called me. Now, she didn't want to go on the radio with me, but she did give me a little more information, and she'd like to know what you think about this. Now, he's a 40-year-old man, okay? They've met each other's, everybody important in their life, they've met, okay? Like kids, family, moms, dads, whatever, right? So they've intertwined their families with their relationship to some extent. At least they've met them. Now, she says she got a screenshot of him DMing some woman, liking some other girl's pictures, DMing some woman, and it wasn't as explicit as you would have thought it was, but it kind of looked like, he was seeing how far he can get with this chick, talk to her. And then, so she called him on it. He thought it was upsetting. They got in a little, tiff about it, argument about it, whatever. Now she, I guess that he said he needed some time. Last a couple of weeks, they got put together. I guess he's kind of leading her on one way or the other. He'll say, "Hey, I miss you" one day, and then 5 minutes later say, "We need to slow things down." So, I forgot to ask her if it didn't sound like he lived in the same town. It doesn't sound like they live here. They live in the same town, but I forgot to ask her that. So what's going on when a guy tells you he wants to slow down? What's going on? Already 42547-7. Now, is a year really a long time? That's one of the things I think we really have to think about. Is a year, how long is a year in a relationship period? 2-3 years? Okay, but how long is a year? So after a year of dating someone, if they tell you want to slow down, what does that mean? Already 42547-7. All right, so this poor lady, man, she sent me this talking about, hey, help me out, Rome. This guy I'm seeing for a year told me we need to slow down. What does he mean by that? Is it over? Is he cheating? What's going on? She just don't really have any answers. But I mean, what's going on? Now, apparently they've met each other's families, so they've kind of been putting in the work to see each other for the year. But then he just kind of flip-flop. Oh, he lives up in Tehachapi. She lives in Bakersfield. Yeah, see, that's probably one of the biggest problems. Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, Ron, that means that he wants his options open.
Well, and I just found out that he lives in Tehachapi. She lives in Bakersfield. So, yeah, I think there's options that might be opening up for him.
Yeah, you know what it is? He's probably like, well, you know what? I can't get nothing over here, so let me go over there.
Yeah, exactly. But once he's able to get something over there, he won't want to come here. I think it's one of those things. Yeah.
Time to move on, bro.
Yeah, I think it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough going.
There's more fish out there in the sea.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Have a great day.
Yeah, I think you might be right about that. Now that I know Tehachapi and Bakersfield isn't that far away, but it's pretty far away at midnight when you want to hook up. I mean, I don't think I can discount the fact. Like that guy just said. He ain't got no options in Tehachapi right now, so he's got to go to Bakersfield. But I think if options open up in Tehachapi, I think that changes everything. Yeah. Hey, Rome, what it means is she's too clingy or overpossessive or just doing it for him in the bedroom. Maybe she comes across like that, but I talked to her. She called me. She didn't want to go on the radio, but I talked to her. She didn't seem too clingy. She didn't seem too possessive. She just seemed like she was paying attention. Like he had some DMs that he was talking to some women. He liked some women's pictures on social media. So, I mean, she approached him about that. But any woman who's in a relationship for over a year approach a guy about what he's doing on social media? Already 42547-7. I think it's the city, the distance is what I think. I think that last guy's right. All right, here. Oh, back to the lady who said, "Hey, Rome, please help me. The guy I'm seeing for over a year told me we need to slow down." What does that mean? Is it over? Is he cheating? What's going on? And we found out that they live in different towns. He lives in Tehachapi. She lives here. They've had a little issues. He's been DMing other women or DM'd another woman. And, I think what it's coming down to is really that they live in different towns. He doesn't have anybody up in Tehachapi, so he's in Bakersfield. He's got her, and he's kind of stringing her along till he finds somebody. But they met each other's families. They've been together over a year. I mean, do you slow down after a year? What does that mean? Already 42547-7. Hey, Rome, the writing's on the wall. She needs to move on from this relationship. This guy has his eyes on someone new and only misses her when he wants to get some. Have a good day, Rome. That sounds plausible. Sounds like that could be the deal, right? Already 42547-7. What do you got? What do you think? What happens when somebody tells you they want to slow down after a year of dating? You've met everybody's family members. I mean, what does that mean? So this girl called, a lady called. She was talking about how she knew this guy. She's been seeing him for a year. He says they need to slow down. What does that mean? Is it over? Is he cheating? What's going on? Now, just a little insight, a couple of things she told me. They live in separate cities, Tehachapi and Bakersfield. He has liked some women on social media. He may even texted one of them where she got a screenshot from a friend of hers who saw it. She called him on it, wanted to know what was going on. She actually sent me a screenshot. Says, miss you lots. Send me a picture at the gym if you want. Going to bed. I'm so sleepy now. Have a good workout. Handsome man, my crush, whatever. He says, okay, we'll slow down a little bit. What? Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird text chain right there for whatever that is. So anyway, they met each other's families. A year is a while to be dating somebody. A year is a year a while to be dating somebody? Do you have enough investment in a year of dating someone to, if you've met the families, if you've hung out enough, if you've gone everywhere together, gone places together? I mean, is a year enough of investment to where when you tell somebody we're moving too quickly, we need to slow down? What's going on there? She wants to know. 842-547-7. Romeo, you need to tell her to move on. That's too many red flags. That's an immediate red flag if he says slow down after a year. You need to tell her to move on. I mean, it's okay. Sounds to me more and more like he wants somebody closer to where he lives, but he can't find anybody, so he's kind of stringing her along, right? Am I right or wrong about that?
Romeo in the Morning.
Every morning.
On Hot 94.1.